Hey everybody, happy Independence Day, happy 4th of July, the holiday where we celebrate throwing off the yoke of tyranny from a foreign nation on the other side of the world. That was in 1776. But here we are, we find ourselves in the year 2024, and once again we find ourselves occupied and under the yoke of tyranny from a small country on the other side of the world. And that's what I want to talk about. We have Zionist Jew Antony Blinken, who runs our State Department and our United States foreign policy, and he's fighting wars for Israel, okay? Then you have his counterpart, Alejandro Mayorkas, the Jew who runs the Department of Homeland Security, who is keeping our borders open and helping facilitate the invasion of millions of people from around the world into the United States. Then you have the Secretary of Treasury, Janet Yellen, another Jew who's helping wage financial warfare against the United States of America and American citizens by helping to debase the currency and wreak economic havoc on the average American. You have other Jews like Larry Fink, the head of BlackRock, the largest asset company in the world, who's also waging financial warfare against the American people, making it harder for Americans to own homes and pushing diversity and other anti-white policies onto corporate America. You have Merrick Garland, the Jew running the Department of Justice, who's allowing the lawlessness and this lawfare to be waged against Donald Trump and other conservative and white Americans around the country. You have other Jews like George Soros, who pushes the open society and the facilitating of the transport of millions of people from around the world into the United States of America and other Western countries. You have Jews like Bob Iger, the CEO of Disney, who's pushing transgenderism and homosexuality on our children. The Rabbi Solomon Friedman and other Jews like him who own Pornhub and are pushing this smut and filth upon our citizenry and our people. I mean, who else do we have? We have Bill Ackman, the billionaire Jew who is waging warfare against the First Amendment and our freedom of association and our freedom of speech and our freedom to petition the government for a redress of our grievances, who has collaborated with law enforcement and local politicians to end peaceful campus protests and other protests in the public square, protests against Israel and its genocide of Gaza and the Zionist occupation of the United States government. You have organizations like AIPAC who own and control our politicians, our congressmen and our senators, making them work for Israel and not the American people. You have other Jewish organizations like the ADL who control our online speech and social media platforms, the new public square, so that we can't say what's on our mind. You have 38 U.S. states who have passed some form of anti-Semitism laws and making it illegal to boycott or sanction the state of Israel on a personal basis. If you want to be able to do business with the U.S. government, you can't boycott Israel, but you can boycott the United States of America. That's okay. Everywhere you look, there are Jews running things. We have the White House Chief of Staff, Jeff Zients, right, who's a Jew, and they're over 30% of the White House staff are Jews. These people are waging warfare against our way of life. They're controlling our government. They're debasing our currency. They're flooding our country with foreign illegals and invaders. They're waging war in the Middle East. The same people, their cousins and brothers and descendants, are over there in Israel bombing Gaza, dropping bombs on babies and civilians, invading Gaza, stealing land in the West Bank, waging war on Lebanon and Syria and their other neighbors, trying to foment war between the United States and Iran. These people are waging war against us and our way of life. They're a hostile foreign power, and we must throw off their tyranny. As my friend Lucas Gage said, we have been born into a war that we didn't ask for. But what are we going to do as American citizens right now? Are we just going to sit back and let them do this? Or are we going to throw off this yoke of tyranny? The 250th anniversary of our independence from the British Empire is rapidly approaching, but we find ourselves enslaved by another small country around the world, a country that helped assassinate JFK to promote its own interests, who assassinated his brother RFK to prevent the exposure of their assassination of JFK, who participated in the 9/11 terrorist attacks and quite possibly conceived them and masterminded them. This country is a pernicious influence. It's a foreign invader. It's holding us hostage, and we must do something about it. So that's my 4th of July message to everybody. Stay safe out there. Blow up some fireworks. Eat some barbecue. Remember the blessings of liberty of the United States of America. But while you're doing that, I want you to remember that we've been enslaved by a hostile foreign power that hates our God, Jesus Christ, and is the real country and people who hate our way of life and are seeking to end it and overthrow it and not put America first. So that's my message. We need to put America first.